Hello, my friends. Well, it finally happened. I got to meet my shark. Now there's some backstory here, and there's, to me, a really powerful, touching story that has to do with Rebecca. For me, the backstory is simply that I am very fascinated by apex predators. Rebecca and I used to be volunteer wolf trackers for the Wisconsin DNR, and we have continued to be very interested in wolves, bear, mountain lion, sharks. Apex predators play such an important role in our ecosystem as keystone species, which balance out the rest of the environment. And they're very fascinating because they invoke a lot of fear that turns into hatred, often in human beings. Historically, there's a fair amount of archaeological evidence that humans came into North America and did a real job on all of the megafauna, including some apex predators that are dire wolves, cave bears that are larger than modern grizzlies, and saber-toothed cats. So some really, really incredible predators. It's fun to think, incidentally, that a lot of people are afraid these days to go out into the forest, into the mountains, let's say, because of grizzlies without a firearm. And yet our ancestors, who were clearly pretty tough, for lack of a more potent word, lived in this world of massive megafauna, incredible predators, and had only stone weapons at their disposal. Kind of puts us to shame a little bit. And all of your ancestors, remember, every single one of your ancestors lived to have a child. So, pretty impressive. You come from an incredible lineage. At some point I may go deeper into this fascination and love that I hold for apex predators, but I wanted to show you the clip of my shark encounter, and then I wanted to share Rebecca's story with you. Somebody told me that under a certain ledge out at this place there was a large white-tip reef shark. Well, they actually didn't know the species, they just said a large shark. And large is relative. To them it was very large. It had swum out from the shelter of the cave, and they estimated it was about 6 feet long. So not a giant shark by any means, but longer than I am tall. I swam out, searched under all kinds of ledges, and finally came down and saw this being face to face. What a beautiful, amazing creature. As I swam back up, I noticed this. It looked like Mirabelle was swimming down towards the animal with her hand outstretched as if she wanted to just meet it with her heart. Mirabelle later corrected me and told me that that wasn't exactly the case of what she was doing, but what was actually happening. Though you were excited to see this.
Yes, I very much was. There were some girls above us. One had a shell bracelet or something.
Plastic.
Yeah, and a little piece of plastic came off. Unfortunately, I didn't catch it, but I was diving down, and the pose Dad saw me in was I was trying to reach out and grab the piece of plastic.
I hope we make a video of this. You've become very passionate about plastic in general, but plastic as waste in the oceans specifically. Often when we go to the beach, she's just collecting plastic along the beach of her own volition. We didn't ask her to do this. So you were trying to grab that piece of plastic before it was lost.
I didn't grab it.
And you did your best. Way to go. As I hovered on the surface, I saw the shark make a circle and then began to swim away. Some other people had been diving down about 10 minutes earlier. Maybe I just harassed it too much with that one visit. At any rate, it started swimming away, so I swam down to get a closer look, and I had this really cool close encounter with a white-tip reef shark. These sharks are not considered to be dangerous. They're night hunters. So in the day, they're very docile. They're hiding in these little rock ledges and caves. At night, they come out, sometimes in the schools, and if you see them feeding, you can look online and see some examples. It looks pretty scary when they start their feeding frenzies under the water. But the other thing that I learned from Ocean Ramsey, actually, who's a shark researcher here in Hawaii, is that I was coming down, my eyes on the shark, coming down on top of that shark. And this shark is lower on the hierarchy of ocean predators. And so she would probably tell us that I was coming down on top of it, and it's lower on the hierarchy
He's
than
dominant.
I am. So I was playing a dominant role there, and that's why the shark was just intent on going away. If I would have been less ruled by my excitement, let's say, I might have tried to get down to its level, hover there quiet, and get it curious, and maybe I would have had a closer encounter. Still, it was amazing for me. It was so incredible to be that close to a creature like this. I've wanted to have an experience like this and feel really blessed that it happened. What did you feel like?
Excited.
You were excited?
Yeah.
Scared?
Not really.
No. When the shark started going out, it came right underneath you and my cousin who you were with. How did that feel? Just seeing this rather large shark.
I saw it come out and I was like, oh my gosh. Wow, it's so beautiful. I'm just gonna move over here a little because it was coming straight toward us underneath. It was far down, but still, for my first time, I tried to move away out of its track. Oh my gosh, I was thrilled. I was so excited. I was just thrilled.
These amazing encounters with nature. We've had a lot of them here. Obviously, we had a lot of them back in Wisconsin, but we've had some very different ones here with the ocean creatures.
Totally, it's so awesome.
Thank you, Mirabelle.
Welcome.
The other part of this has to do with Rebecca, and she's not going to appear on this video, unfortunately, but she has given me full permission to share this. So, when she was young, she saw the movie Jaws, and it instilled a terror of sharks in her. So much so that if she was going to go into an aquarium, those big aquariums you can go into, and there was a shark there, she would not set foot into the building. I believe she would have fantasy fears if she was in a swimming pool, that a shark would somehow get into that swimming pool and attack her. Swimming in the ocean obviously was terrifying. And over the years, this fear has mellowed. And for me, I think it's mellowed. She never directly confronted the fear itself, but just all the emotional resilience work that she's done has helped her to see things more and more clearly. After seeing this shark, I went back, and I wish she could have been along with when the shark came under, but she wasn't. And she came right out with me to go and try to find that shark again. We had another experience when we were on a boat, and we saw a small shark. This one was probably only 4 feet long. It was up on the surface. Shortly after, we got out to snorkel. The water was kind of murky, definitely something that could induce fear, and yet there she was in the water. She said that it wasn't that she didn't feel some fear, but she didn't allow it to hold her back from getting into the water and swimming. And blessedly so, because during this snorkel, we had a surprise swim by 4 fully grown male humpback whales that came about 40 feet away from us in the water. It was mind-blowing to be that close in the water to these creatures that just came right by into way shallower water than they usually go into. Wow, my friends, so many amazing experiences here, and I'm ever grateful that you're along for our adventures. We have growing excitement about our return to the Wisconsin, Minnesota area. We're considering going out west too to visit my cousin in Wyoming, who I'll probably be telling you more about her in the not too distant future. Amazing woman. And I would love to hear, of course, from you in the comments. If you have had any apex predator encounters. I know that once in a while, things go wrong. There are shark attacks in Hawaii, there are bear attacks here and there, but I'm thinking of my cousin here who works at a ranch, and she takes clients out into the mountains for long extended periods of time and interacts with grizzlies, I would say, on a regular basis, and does not have negative encounters. That is the basic truth to encounters with apex predators. We have hunted them so relentlessly for so long that almost every apex predator you meet is going to be afraid of you. Unless, of course, we are filled with fear and act like prey, which often we do. Getting out of our fear mindset and into a different way of interacting with these creatures. Have you interacted with apex predators, and how did you do so? If you felt fear, how did you deal with that fear? Thank you for being part of our adventures. I'll talk with you soon.